بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما ربي زدني علما. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear respected ulama, brothers, sisters listening at home, welcome to part 29 of the seerah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today we will start the point in where Islam is now going to take a turn. And this is a major part in Islam. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِي فَرَضَ عَلَيْكِ الْقُرْآنَ لَرَادُكَ إِلَى مَعَادٍ. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was leaving Makkah, when he had to leave Makkah forcefully, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam kept looking at Makkah because that was his hometown. Yeah. Allah Ta'ala revealed this ayat to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that to give him tasalli, to give him reassurance that, O Nabi of Allah, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, don't worry. The place in which that Allah Ta'ala made the Quran, revealed the Quran upon you, you will definitely return to that place again. And this is what we're going to start talking about now, the conquest of Makkah. Where in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam with the Muslim army, they could come back and now take over Makkah again, take over the hometown, take over the birthplace of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Also the place in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Quran. So before we look into it, we need to just know exactly what's happened previously. So before the conquest of Makkah, before we talk about the conquest of Makkah and what led up to the Muslims marching towards Makkah. So what was the reason why Muslims marched towards Makkah in the first place? Now you need to a couple of sessions ago, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah took place. Now, in this Treaty of Hudaybiyah, in the 6th year after Hijrah, this took place, in where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam with the Muslims, they came to do tawaf they came to Umrah, in which they were stopped. Keeping it short, I'm not going detail that because that's already been done. But in the end result was that a treaty was made between the Quraysh of Makkah and Muslims. A treaty was made with conditions. And one of the conditions was that no fighting was to take place over 10 years. And also another treaty was made, another point was any other tribes that are around the area or around the peninsula, they can join now anyone they want to. They can join the Quraysh if they want to join the Quraysh, or they can join the people of the Muslims if they want to join the Muslims. That's entirely up to them. So this treaty was made. Now, this treaty is important because this is exactly going to be the reason on why conquest Makkah took place. Now, when this took off, there was also another condition as well, that people of the Muslims in Makkah were not allowed to leave. They were not also allowed to leave to Medina as well. And any Muslims that that came from Makkah to Medina, they had to be returned as well. So there's quite a lot of conditions from outlook. If you look at it, that the Muslims, this was kind of harsh on Muslims. Yeah, from the outlook, this was very harsh on the Muslims. But again, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ مَاكِرِينَ. They plan, the kuffar plan, and Allah Ta'ala plans. But who's the best planner? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even though this may at one point looked at, okay, this is like a defeat for Muslims, but in the end, this treaty was actually a point in where the Muslims were allowed to do more, to preach Islam with more freedom. Anyway, moving on from there. So those are Muslims. The Muslims that left Makkah, they were allowed to leave and stay in Medina. So what some of them did, some of them used to just stay around the area of Medina, also around the area, or they used to trouble the people of Caravan as well. Or they used to stay in the place of Caravan where the people Quraysh used to travel by. And when this used to happen, initially, oh, they get fed up, we get frustrated. So they got frustrated and they gave them, just go to Medina, just go to Medina. So this is how some of the Muslims from Makkah, they left Makkah and entered into Medina as well. But they still got permission from them, basically. So without trade, again, they never broke the treaty. This, again, another way, they never broke the treaty as well. So there were these different things that took place. But now the bigger thing that took place after that was something that happened between the two tribes, Banu Bakr and Banu Khuza'i. These two tribes, something took place between these two tribes, and this is, inshallah, we're going to cover all this today now and what happened from there. Okay. That's better. Yeah. Jazakallah khair. Sorry, I had a bit of a thing with the PowerPoint problem there. Jazakallah khair. So again, if you're looking at it, when Treaty of Hudaybiyah was written between Quraysh and the Muslim, the other Arab tribes were given the option if they wished to join in the treaty on either side. Now, Banu Bakr clan, they joined in with the Quraysh, while the Banu Khuza'i, they went with the Muslims. Banu Khuza'i already had like a treaty or already had like a thing with Abdul Muttalib. Yeah, their fathers and their father, Abdul Muttalib and their fathers, they already had like a pact together anyway. And this kind of came down from there. So they had that respect and honor for the tribe of the Muttalib. That already had that respect and honor. So this is why with the Muslim, they went with the Muslim because of that pact that they have with Abdul Muttalib. So it kind of, you can say from those days, it kind of it got passed down. Now, what was the reason behind it? The reason behind this was that on one occasion, Malik ibn Abad Hadrami had entered the land of Khuza'a with some trade goods. The Khuza'a put an end to him and took away all the goods that he had. This took place previously. Yeah, this was something that took place before the treaty even happened. This is why them two, both tribes, had like a grudge between each other. And then what happened after that? In retaliation, when finding the correct opportunity, the Banu Bakr took revenge against the person of the Khuza'a. The Khuza'a then took revenge against Duwaym, Salami, and Kulthum, who were the three of the leaders of the Banu Bakr near the boundary of the Haram in Arafat. So again, you can say now these are battling with each other. Something's happened and they're coming back at each other, back and forth, back and forth. After the advent of Islam, now that Islam's come back, Islam has been announced and the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has announced prophethood. Due to when the tribe became occupied with Islam right now, so they kind of stopped this conflict stopped for a little while. They still had, you can still say, they still had beef with each other. They still had enmity with each other. But both of them, they say, you know what, right now we've got an issue to deal with, so let's just deal with those issues for now, and maybe later on we'll probably carry on with it later on. Yeah, one thing which we need to understand in Arabs, especially the Arabs, when they have enmity with people, it doesn't go on for 1-2 days. They carry on with it as well, especially in their Jahiliyyah. When they used to have enmity or small things, it would carry on, not for 1 day, not for 2 days. They won't forget. They will never forget. They will make sure that I will get you back for what you did to me later on. Yeah, this is not a lesson we need to take. This is something we need to avoid. Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's not, if something happens to us, and obviously sometimes it does happen. Yeah, what did the Nabi say? Forgive and forget. Just leave it to Allah. Have sabr, have patience, and let it go. unless something that happened and through the Muslim judges and everything takes place. Otherwise, yourself, we shouldn't do anything at all. Yeah. This is something that is rewarded from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Something happens, have patience, and Allah will always reward you for for the patience that you have. So when the Treaty of Hudaybiyah took place, these two parties were also included in that treaty as well now. Yeah. These two parties were included in that treaty. That them two, they won't fight with each other. They'll stay away from each other. They're similar thing to Muslim and Quraysh had. So that all of them were also included in this treaty as well. Because these are came with them, and this is where these are took place with the Banu Khuza'i went with the Muslims, the Banu Bakr went with the Quraysh. Well, fine, we thought, okay, that's fine, that's happened right now. So right now for 10 years, nothing's going to happen. Now, Banu Bakr take advantage, you can say. Yeah. The Banu Bakr took advantage of the situation because they knew that, okay, no, well, they're not going to do anything to us. They think that, they're not going to, let's take advantage of the situation now. We can go out, we can do something to them. So, as I remember I said, yeah, it's better to forgive and forget. But if you don't forgive and forget, and you still keep that grudge, it will lead to something else. And it always does. And this is a prime example in this what happened here, the prime example that what can happen. So Nufail ibn Muawiyah al-Dayla'i, along with some of the companions, attacked the Khuza'a at night time. Some of the people had been sleeping by a spring called Al-Watir when they were attacked. So the place called Al-Watir was a place not far from Makkah. And they lived around the area, they're sleeping there. And then these people, the Bakr clan came and they attacked them. But it wasn't only these people, even some of the people of the Quraysh, they secretly helped the Banu Bakr in their plan. Yeah. How did they help them? They helped them through weapons as well as some people. So amongst the people was Safwan ibn Umayyah, Shaybah ibn Uthman, and Suhail ibn Amr. Yeah. The Khuza'a fled to the Haram to seek refuge. But even they were not given any respite. Now, again, another thing to remember, that when you go into the Haram, this was the ruling that the Arabs had. That when you go into the Haram, the sanctuary, you cannot be touched. Even though you're the enemy, but once you enter the Haram boundary, once you enter the Haram, you are not allowed to be touched at all. Yeah, that was like the ruling that they had, a code of honor. You can say a code of honor that they had. But even that, they broke this code as well. Yeah, at this time, because they knew they were getting to them, and they've kind of trying to get safety, but they were so much adamant, we don't care. They brought the sanctuary and they still attacked them. The Quraysh helped the Banu Bakr by all means. They provided weapons for them, needing people to fight for them. The Khuza'a, they even went to the house of Budayl ibn Waraqa in Makkah. Budayl Waraqa, his name, remember that name because his name is come later on again. Budayl Waraqa, his name will come later on. The Banu Bakr and the leader of Makkah entered the house and attacked them there as well. Didn't let them go. Sorry, but didn't spare them at all. And then once they've done the business, once they've done the job, they've killed them or whatever they had to do, whatever they did. What did they thought initially? They thought that Rasulullah will not find out about what we've done. They thought, he's not going to find out. But we're safe. We're okay right now. But when the morning time came, the Quraysh, they were thinking that when time came and after what they've done, because generally this is what happens. You retaliate, you do something, and you also later on, once your head, when you calm down, that may think, okay, no, what have I done now? Again, it's a big lesson taken. It's a massive lesson taken from here as well. It happens when we get angry, as human beings. When we get angry, we do something out of frustration, or we get angry and we carry the action out. But generally, what happens after is after you calm down, after you relax, thinking, "Oh man, what did I just do there?" But sometimes it's too late. Once your deeds been done, there's no turning back. Yeah. So again, this is where as Muslims we've always been taught a lesson as well. Then when you get angry, what should we do? The Nabi also mentioned, first seek refuge from Allah. Seek refuge in Allah from shaitan. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. If you're standing, sit down. If you sit down, lie down, or for us now, perform ablution, go to wudu. Yeah, why? Because when you get angry, you get hot. It's garam, it's garami. It's garam for you, it's hot for you. And wudu is water, it's natural, cools you down. So again, this is why the ablution is there to cool you down, cool your anger down. And again, these are big lessons for us to take in. Even though they were not Muslim at the particular time, but even then, there are lessons for us to take in from here. Yeah, every aspect, if you look at the life of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there are lessons for us to take in from every aspect. Because when something happens, there's always some kind of something else on the other side, whether good or whether bad. So now the call for help. Amr ibn Salim Khuza'i came with a delegation of 40 people to Medina. They came to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and at that time he was inside Masjid al-Nabawi. Then now the delegations come, they've come to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because as I said, they had this pact already with them. Now it's time to ask for the help. Amr ibn Salim Khuza'i stood up and said, "O Lord, I have come to remind Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam of the old covenant between our father and his father Abdul Muttalib." As I mentioned in the beginning, that these already had like a treaty or like a covenant before with Abdul Muttalib and the family already. So this was kind of already coming down from there. The Quraysh have gone against their promise and they have broken your treaty. They attacked us while we were sleeping near the spring of Al-Watir and killed us while we were in the state of Ruku and Sajda. Some of the people of Banu Khuza'i were also Muslim as well. This is why this particular thing was mentioned. Some of them were already Muslims. Some of them were Muslim as well, but he himself was not. The person who's speaking right now, at the moment, he was not Muslim. They then left people waiting for us at Maqam Qada'a, and they thought that we would not call anyone for help. So they left them, and they thought, these are just going to go away, and they're not going to go to anyone to ask for help. But they were completely wrong in this. Carrying on, as he said, "We are like your father, and you are like our children, because the mother of Abd Manaf was from the tribe of Banu Khuza'a, and like this, the mother of Qusay, Fatima bint Sa'ad, was also from the tribe of Khuza'a." So they also had like a relationship as well. It wasn't just a treaty that they had, but you can say even if you look at lineage, you'll see that they all joined together again. Because of the relationship, it is incumbent upon you to help us and assist us. So they have to. It's like they came to plead and ask for help. It wasn't like, you have to help us. You're asking for the Nabi, please help us. And he gives the reason behind. He's giving his reason behind that as well. That this is why you should help us, because we had pact with your granddad, and then from there with family. And again, he's still carrying on. Apart from this, we have always followed you and listened to you. We have never disobeyed you. Therefore, we hope that you will help us. He's carrying on with this saying, still speaking to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Help us immediately. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you. Order all Allah's special servants, meaning your companions, that they come to our aid. And when the army of the servants of Allah comes, then the messenger of Allah should definitely be in it." So this is one thing that he mentioned, that why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam should be in it for, because he said that because it's a treaty and this is broken now, that we need, you are the main person, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are the main leader, you are the main person, so you also should be in that army as well. When you come for our aid, for our help, don't just send an army on your behalf. No, you also come with the army as well to come and defend us. So who would be ready to confront the oppressors? And this was his final say. They know who's ready to confront the oppressors. This is the final. He said his statement. He said everything that he had to say. Now he's just waiting for a response from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to see what the Nabi response is. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he asked, were the full of Banu Bakr clan involved in this? Yeah, asked him, was everyone involved? He said, no, only one particular area with Banu Nafatha. Banu Nafatha was a particular tribe within them, Banu Bakr clan, and the leader of them was Tufayl. So he was the one. They were the one that were involved in this particular incident. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam promised them help after this, and after this, Rasulullah promised them help, and after this, the delegation returned. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam given them the assurance, don't worry, you will get help. Yeah, you'll get help, and now obviously we'll sort it out from our side now. So so after that they returned back. So first thing, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it wasn't straight to battle. Remember that. It wasn't that they've attacked us or they've done this and they've come and asked for help. That's let's see. Let's try to compromise. Let's see what the options are first. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent a messenger to Makkah to the Quraysh. He sent a message to accept one of the three things. Number one, to give blood money for those that were killed. Naturally, in that time, even I think nowadays it happens as well. Yeah. Blood money, if I think it used to be it's 100 camels for one person. For every person killed, or everyone that was killed, 100 camels was the price for it. 100 nowadays probably about equal to 100 grand maybe, give or take. Yeah. So that was the price. So if you kill somebody from it, pay the blood money. If you pay the blood money, then it's finished. Yeah, that's sufficient. If that isn't the case, then number two, now the Nabi also gave them, it's okay, no. If you can't pay blood money, then the Banu Nafatha, not the Banu Bakr clan, all of them, just that one particular clan. The Banu Nafatha, remove them from the treaty. They're not part of the treaty anymore. Basically, sever your ties with them. Yeah, don't let them be a part of the treaty, or don't let them be part of anything at all. And number three, the third one is, or make an announcement. This is fine. Make an announcement that if you're again not going to do that as well, then the number three, the final option is make an announcement that the treaty that we have made is cancelled now, is annulled, is finished, is over. So choose one of the three options, and decide which one you want to go for. So when the messenger arrived in Makkah, he presented options to the Quraysh. Qurta ibn Amr answered on behalf of the Quraysh. He said that they will not pay the blood money for all those that were killed from Banu Khuza'a, nor will they break ties with the Banu Nafatha. Last one, the only one option left now. Yeah. So we are happy that the Treaty of Hudaybiyah becomes annulled, cancelled. Yeah, that's fine. If that was the answer, yeah, the messenger went back to Medina with the Quraysh's reply. Yeah. Again, this was done without really thinking about it. They've said it now. They've done it. One bit out of Josh, you say something. Yeah, you've done it. But again, when you come back in Hosh again, what happens? What did I just say? So this will happen to them now, with them now as well. That's fine. As soon as the messenger left, the Quraysh regretted the decision. Yeah, but now they've come down from the high horses. They've come back down again. And I think, what do you just say there? What do you just say? Are we clever? What's wrong with our heads? Because they knew for a fact they had no chance anyway. So straight away they told Abu Sufyan. The Abu Sufyan was saying straight to you go to Medina and strengthen the treaty and also extend its term. So Abu Sufyan after left, he tried to get there. On one hand, Abu Sufyan left Makkah for Medina, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informs companions that Abu Sufyan is coming to strengthen the treaty and extend it. That's fine. Abu Sufyan reached Maqam Usfan, and he met Budayl ibn Waraqa Khuza'i. Abu Sufyan asked him, where have you come from? Budayl replied, I have just come from a valley nearby. Budayl said this and carried on his way to Makkah. Abu Sufyan then thought that Budayl had definitely come from Medina. So what did he do? He went to the place. He went to the place, that valley that he said he was at, and he checked there for the droppings. Yeah. Now look. Something again. This is how intellectual they were as well, though. You gotta think about it as well. They were intellectual when you have forensic and stuff like that. Yeah, these are mashallah, these are even had that kind of ability as well. These were naturally, they had ability in this matter as well. Because this is something that was amazing. So Abu Sufyan then went to the place where Budail's camel had been sat. He checked the droppings, and again he had found some date stones. Abu Sufyan, what did he say? Abu Sufyan said, "By Allah, Budail has definitely come from Medina, and these date stones are from the dates in Medina." Just from what? The date stones. Yeah, this is when the friends when they will pick up when they see us when they find it and they think, oh, where's it from? These are order in this kind of in their field they were masters in their field as well. Yeah, they were masters in their field. I thought, oh man, even though at that particular time he was a Muslim, but it's amazing that thinking that these had such kind of art, science as well, to kind of to know that exactly what okay these just from date stones, yeah, just from date stone that exactly where the date stones have come from. So they had a lot that gifted them. Yeah, they were gifted a lot of things. It just goes to show that even if we've kind of because they were people on the outside, you do a lot of things, physical stuff. They knew a lot of different arts. Yeah, but for unfortunately, then it's nowadays that we've kind of lost a lot of these in the traits. Yeah, because we're used to so much of the technology, so much of reliance on other things. They kind of we lose a lot of ability, our ability to utilize ourselves to the maximum. You lose that ability. Yeah, if I was giving you something right now, I'd probably say identify or say where they're from. None of us be like, oh, just not date stone, yeah, forget date stone. But maybe something simple would be different. Okay, maybe I don't know where it's from. Anyway, we're not bothered. Yeah. So these are things that these people Makkah were also granted as well. Yeah, mashallah, they had a lot of things that were gifted to them. So Abu Sufyan then arrived in Medina and went straight to his daughter's house, Umm al-Mu'mineen, Sayyida Habiba radiallahu anha. Yeah. Abu Sufyan's daughter was married to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was before Abu Sufyan also embraced Islam. Before that, Habiba radiallahu anha, she married Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So from this point of view, you can say that Abu Sufyan, in a sense, is the father-in-law of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From that point of view, yeah. And another point of view, he was also the cousin brother of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, because Abu Sufyan ibn Harith, and Harith was the brother of Abdullah, who was the father of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So from relationship wise, he's very close to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, very close to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when he arrived at the house, he wished to sit on the bedding of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but Habiba radiallahu anha folded it up. Yeah. Think now, imagine obviously the fathers come to the house of the daughter. Yeah, and they obviously naturally you think father is also respected. He's a respected person, figure, no matter who it is. Yeah, obviously, and you give him the best seating position you can give him. And the father come inside and sit down. Yeah. But when he came inside, and the Nabi also the place when the Nabi sat, she folded out. Put that way. Sorry. Yeah. When she did that, obviously straight away he was offended. That what were you standing there? What can I sit there for? So Abu Sufyan said to his daughter, "Oh daughter, you are folding up the seating. Do you think that the bedding is not worthy enough for me, or I am not worthy enough for it?" What did she reply? Yeah, that this is the bedding of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, and you, Abu Sufyan, are a polytheist. You're a mushrik. This is pure Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is pure. He's sitting on there, and you're a mushrik of darkness. Of you don't believe in Allah. How can you be even worthy to sit on the place of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yeah. So this is why she folded up, put it away. That sorry, even though you're my father, but even then, sorry, you're not allowed to sit in you're nowhere near the rank of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The rank of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is above everyone else. So Abu Sufyan, naturally, as I said, you might imagine he's just been disgraced there. Yeah, literally, he's completely slated. Yeah. So Abu Sufyan was not impressed. And you can imagine that anyway. Abu Sufyan was not impressed with her answer and he replied angrily to her that she's involved in bad. Yeah. Nothing else to say. He can't say anything else, can you really? Habiba said she was not involved in Badr, but she had come out of the darkness of disbelief and entered into the light of Islam and guidance. She said she is astonished that him being a leader of the Quraysh still worships stones which cannot hear or see. And now she is giving dawah to her father. Tell my father, call my father, man. Think, mashallah, you're intelligent, you've got brains, but you're worshipping things that you know for a fact that can't do anything as well. Please get out of there. Get out of that ignorance and come into the light. So naturally, obviously, he was happy with that. So Abu Sufyan left from there and went to Masjid Nabawi now. So now he thought, well, let me go to Masjid Nabawi, let me try my chance there. He addressed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and said he had come on behalf of the Quraysh to strengthen the treaty and to extend its term. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam stayed quiet, remained silent. He didn't reply to him. When Abu Sufyan didn't receive a reply from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he went to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and asked him to intercede for him. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu replied that he was unable to help him. He then went to Umar radiallahu anhu, and again he got the same answer from him as well. That sorry, but I can't help you as well. So he's going to everyone. Now he's going to Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu. He then went to Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu's house, who was sitting with his wife Fatima radiallahu anha and Hassan radiallahu anhu. Abu Sufyan asked him as well. Ali radiallahu anhu replied that, but Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has already made an intention with regard to this. Therefore, no one can ask him about it. Once Allah and His Rasul make a decision, then it's not. No one can change his mind. No one can change what He has decreed. Yeah. So Ali radiallahu anhu said that's it. Sorry, but once the Messiah has made his mind up, it's finished now. Yeah. We are not allowed to intercede for anyone on that point. So Ali radiallahu anhu replied that, so Abu Sufyan then said to Fatima radiallahu anha, if you tell your son Hassan radiallahu anhu to say that he has given a refuge to the Quraysh, then he will be considered a leader of the Quraysh forever. Yeah. So now they're trying to use the Messiah's grandson. Maybe if he can't do it, maybe grandson. He try to use a grandson, a child, that maybe through him. Yeah. But again, Fatima radiallahu anha, what did she say? That he is young, therefore he cannot give anyone refuge, and secondly, he cannot give refuge against the decision of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Same thing. Even though he's the grandson, even though he didn't, but once Rasulullah sallallahu has made a decision, it's not no believer can ever overrule that decision at all. So again, that is the final thing that happened.
What would be the other punishment if they did do that?
Ji?
What would be the punishment if they did do that?
Oh, you're asking for a big one there. If first of all, no one would have dared, because they knew that obviously that's Allah the Rasul. Yeah, these are companions of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam who they never ever dared to even go against Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. For them to go against Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is disobeying Allah and disobeying on the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as well. So now you can imagine straight away. First of all, they'll be called hypocrites, and if that happened, Umar of them would probably be first in line to say that I'll chop it up straight away. Yeah, let me slice him up. Okay, so no one would have dared, even though no one would have dared at all. Because other Umar will come later on in this matter as well. He said he was another warrior. Yeah, anyone that goes against, you will see from here this one particular thing that takes place inside here, and they'll give you a good inclination that what would have happened if anyone did go against Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's ruling. So now, Abu Sufyan then told Ali radiallahu anhu that the matter has become serious. Give me some advice at least. Tell me at least what you do then. Yeah, remember in the end, Abu Sufyan is the uncle he is also the cousin brother of Ali radiallahu anhu as well. Yeah. So again, trying to from family point of view, he's trying to at least tell me what you do, man. Tell me at least, give me some kind of advice. So Ali radiallahu anhu, he gives some kind of advice. So what do you say? He said, I can't think of much, but the only thing that comes to mind if you think it will benefit you is that if you go to Masjid Nabawi and call out that I have come to strengthen the treaty of Hudaybiyah and to extend its duration, yeah, say that. Say this and then go back to your city. So Abu Sufyan did what he had to do. He got up from there and went to Masjid. He said in a loud voice, I come to strengthen the treaty of Hudaybiyah and extend its duration. Yeah, because remember, he got no reply from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when he went to him anyway. So the only thing he came for, he just wanted to make his intentions clear, why I've come for. That's all the reason I've come for. I just want to come here to extend the treaty, just to make it longer and try to basically make peace again. Yeah, he wanted to make peace with Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Muslims. So once he said this, he returned back to Makkah. Now, when Abu Sufyan reached Makkah, he told the Quraysh about what had happened in Medina. They asked him if Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had agreed to his proclamation. Again, he can't answer that question, can he, to be honest, because nothing was given. He replied, no. The Quraysh then said that how can you be satisfied without the approval of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It is null and void. They have not come with news of a treaty through which we could be at ease, nor with the news of battle so we could prepare ourselves. So now they're kind of stuck. So what shall we do? Shall we are we meant to be battling, or do we have a treaty? What's happening? They don't know what's happening. Yeah. So they've come in such a way that they're clueless. So now people of Makkah are all right now, they're clueless, they don't know what's happening. And this again, Nabi Sallallahu anything for battle, everything, Nabi Sallallahu was a gift. Rasulullah, Allah. That even then he knew, right, by not answering anything, yeah, the people of Makkah didn't know what's happening. Now this gives an advantage again to the Muslims, yeah, of what's to come next. After Abu Sufyan left Medina, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave a covert order to stop preparing to go to battle. Now he gave a secret order, told them, okay, quietly, everyone stop preparing. Yeah, don't make sure it didn't go out from yet. Everyone stop preparing for battle. Because the Makkah, they're confused, they don't know what's happening. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, again, this is all tactical. Everything is tactical. Just by not saying quite clear, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, no, we're not going to give it, and they know, okay, it's not happening. Yeah, but by saying silent, not giving reply at all, that they don't know, is it how do you say yes to it, no to it, what's happening? We just don't know what's happening. So this is again very tactical move by Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay. There should be no announcement about it, and it should not be made apparent. A message was sent to nearby tribes to also prepare. During this time, a companion by the name of Hatib ibn Abi Balta'ah wrote a letter to the people of Makkah. Now, this is Sahabiya. Okay, Hatib ibn Abi Balta'ah radiallahu anhu, the Sahabi. And he wrote a letter to the people of Makkah. Now, again, this is your question about what happened if you went against Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Yeah, this is something that he's done something. Well, what did Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam say? Keep it quiet. Don't let anyone else know what we're doing. So he's wrote a letter to people of Makkah, sending a letter to people of Makkah he gave his reason behind why he did what he did. He gave the letter to a woman and told her to secretly deliver it to Makkah. Yeah, this full thing that is narrated in Bukhari as well. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam got a wahy. Allah Ta'ala informed Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that this a letter by the woman at this particular place. Yeah, and this letter is going towards Makkah. So this is when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this incident took place. This is how Nabi Sallallahu found out about the incident. So let's read the full incident of what took place. It goes. Ubaydullah ibn Abi Rafi' narrates that he heard Ali radiallahu anhu say, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, me, Zubair, and Miqdad ibn Aswad saying, process until you reach Rawd al-Khaq. you will find a lady there with a letter. So take the letter from her. The letter. So we set out on our horses, ran at full pace until we reached a rover, where we found the lady and said to her that take out the letter. She replied, I have no letter with me. We said, either you take out the letter or else we will take it from you from your clothes. So she took out the letter from her braid, kept it inside. It was on the clothes, she kept it hidden. Because that's natural. I think those have these are big hair. So probably check it straight inside. No one can see. So benefit keep long hair for ladies. So we brought the letter to Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it contained a statement from Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a to some of the Meccan polytheists, informing them of some of the intentions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh Hatib, why is this?" Hatib replied, "Oh Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't hasten to give your judgment about me. Yes, I think don't always give me. Let me explain myself. That I was a man closely connected with the Quraysh, but I do not belong to this tribe. While the other immigrants with you had the relatives in Makkah who protect their dependents and property. So I wanted to recompense for my lacking blood relation to them by doing them a favor so that they might protect my dependents. I did this neither because of disbelief and not apostasy, nor out of preferring kufr, after disbelief after Islam. So everything the reason that he did it for, he had a family he had still family in Makkah. He had family in Makkah, but unfortunately his family had no family there. They were on their own. They had no people to protect them. So what he thought, if I send this letter to the people of Quraysh, in this way, that these people will protect my family as well. They look after myself and protect my family. And this was the only reason to protect his family, mainly was protect his own family. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he heard what he had to say, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Hatib has told the truth. Yeah, Hatib has told you he's spoken the truth. The reason his intentions is true. He's not lying. He's not become a kafir. He's not gone away from Islam. He's legitimately was to protect his family. Yeah, that was his reason. So Umar radiyallahu anhu is Umar radiyallahu anhu. Umar radiyallahu anhu said straight away, "Oh Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, allow me to strike the neck of this hypocrite." Yeah. He's gone against, just going against, and straight away he's ready to take up. Now this what I mentioned. If anyone against the order of Allah's Rasul, anyone that goes against Allah's Rasul, that's blatantly being say like hypocrite. Yeah, and he's obviously he had the reason. He justified his reason why he did what he had to do. But anyone that goes against Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or if they order something, first person at the forefront will be Umar radiyallahu anhu. Yeah, and obviously once he's there, there's nowhere to get away from him. Can you obviously, because you can imagine Umar radiyallahu anhu, from description, he wasn't small, he was huge. Yeah, he was massive. Yeah, Shaitan backed it, would say. Yeah, Shaitan is legged from him as well. So you can imagine Umar being some huge person. Yeah, I think if he came through here, if you ever saw me and came through here, I think all of us you probably like it as well. हमारा शैतान भी भाग जाएगा, you know, शैतान will leg it from him. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, obviously he said, what did he say? Said, indeed, he participated in the battle of Badr, and who knows? Perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already looked at the Badr warriors and said, do whatever you like, forever forgiven them, or forever forgiven you. Yeah. The people at Battle of Badr, they were the first people at the forefront, first people to defend Islam. Yeah, 330 of them to defend Islam. And this was a massive battle, yeah, for Islam. So the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given indirect that these people are forgiven by Allah. Yeah, even if you do what you do, these people already, he's done what he's done. Yeah, but because of the barakat of participating in Battle Badr, Allah has forgiven them already. Yes, when Hazrat Umar radiyallahu anhu, when he heard this, tears falling out from his eyes. Tears come to his eyes and said, Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam know better. This was the same Hatib who Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam had sent to the king of Alexandria with his letters. Later on, after before this happened. Now, when the letter that was brought back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did it say? O people of the Quraysh, indeed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is coming to you with an army like the night, which is coming like a torrent. By Allah, even if he comes alone, Allah would help him and fulfill for him his promise. So think about your conclusion. So think about it. Even if you try to prepare for him, don't think that will make a difference anyway. In one narration by Waqidi, this letter was addressed to Suhail ibn Amr, Safwan ibn Umayyah, and Ikrimah ibn Abu Jahl. All three embraced Islam after the conquest of Makkah. Now, the conquest of Makkah. So now we've gone through kind of what took place before the conquest of Makkah, why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam even decided to put a march towards Makkah. So everything is justified. Yeah, it's not like Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam all of a sudden woke up one day and said, no, let's go conquer Makkah. Even he could have. He had the power. Yeah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had the people behind him. But no, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam honored the treaty. The treaty that was there, he honored the treaty. And this is one of the things as well. Yeah, when something is promised to you or something you become when you have like a treaty with somebody, as Muslim we have to honor that as well. You make a promise to somebody, we have to honor it. Yeah, the sign of a hypocrite. Nabi Sallallahu mentioned the sign of a hypocrite that when you make a provider wa'ada akhlafa. Yeah, when a person makes a promise, he goes against that promise, and that is a sign of a hypocrite. Yeah. So this is why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that whatever treaty that was done with them, he honored it to his teeth, 100%. Not even one single thing he went against. Now the conquest of Makkah begins. So on the 10th of Ramadan, after Asr Salah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam set out from Medina with an army of 10,000 strong, heading for Makkah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was fasting, and so were his companions. He left Kulthub ibn Hussein ibn Utbah in charge in Medina. From his wives, Salama and Maymuna radiallahu anhuma were accompanying him. When they reached Dhul Hulayfa, or Maqam Juhfa, then they met Abbas radiallahu anhu, who's the uncle of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his family who had just migrated from Makkah. Their goods were sent forward to Medina, and Abbas radiallahu anhu joined the army himself and headed back towards Makkah. Someone might be thinking that, why Abbas radiallahu anhu? He was still in Makkah? Explains why. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept him there for a reason. Abbas radiallahu anhu had embraced Islam earlier, but had kept his faith hidden from the Quraysh. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abbas radiallahu anhu that his migration was a final migration, just as his prophethood was a final prophethood. Just as Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam prophet was a final prophet from all Anbiya, same way his migration from Makkah to Medina was a final. He was the final person, because now once Makkah is taken over, there's no need to migrate anymore. Abbas radiallahu anhu had been commanded by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to stay in Makkah and keep Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed of the Quraysh's plans. In the Musnad of Abi Ya'la and Mu'jam Tabarani, it is written that Abbas radiallahu anhu asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for permission to migrate. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got back to him and asked him to stay where he was. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will complete his hijrah with him, like he has completed his prophethood with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abwa. Reached Abwa and met Abu Sufyan ibn Harith and his son Ja'far, who was the cousin and milk brother of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had also been witnessed by Halima radiallahu anha. When they were young, he was very close to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and never used to leave his side. After Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam declared prophethood, his love turned into enmity, and he even used to write poetry against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and which when Hassan bin Thabit used to respond back to, he used to answer everything he used to say, answer them all. Abdullah ibn Abi Amiya was also with them. He was the son of Atika bint Abdul Muttalib. So he was also Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's cousin. Yeah, he's also a cousin brother. So Atika bint Abdul Muttalib was the aunt of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Again, he was also one of the people who was strictly opposed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were also migrated to Medina. They embraced Islam after. They asked permission to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but because they had caused him a lot of harm, he initially refused to grant them. Yeah. So again, because of what happened initially, because they used to go and say harmful things to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so when they came asked permission from Nabi to see Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't grant the permission. They've done too much damage. Yeah. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wife Salama radiallahu anha then interceded for them, and they were granted permission. They both embraced Islam and joined the Muslims back towards Makkah. Ali radiallahu anhu had given his cousin Abu Sufyan the advice to stand in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and say the same words that Yusuf alayhi salam's the words that Yusuf's brothers said to him. Yeah. What did he say? What did they say? قالوا تالله لقد آثرك الله عليه وإن كنا لخاطئين. They said, we swear by Allah that indeed Allah has given preference over us, and indeed we were guilty. In fact, this is what brothers said. Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers, this is what they said initially. Yeah, to Yusuf alayhi salam. So this is what he said as well. Say the same thing. Yeah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did he reply? قال لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. He said, no reproach on you today. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left from Maqam al-Khadid and reached Marwa Zahran at Isha time. They set up camp for the night, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded the army that every person should light a fire outside the tents. It was a custom in those days for the armies to light fires. So this is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered this to be done also as well. The Quraysh who had broken the treaty did not know when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was going to come. Therefore, Abu Sufyan ibn Harb, Budayh ibn Waraka, and Hakim all went to find out. When they reached close to Marwa Zahran, they saw the army and became frightened. Abu Sufyan asked, what fire is this? Budayh replied, this is the fire of Khuza'a. Abu Sufyan then said, where did Abu Khuza'a get such a large army from? There are just a few in numbers. Some watchmen from the Muslims' army saw them and arrested them straight away. They asked the watchmen, who was this? They replied, it was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we are his companions. Now they found out Banu Khuza'ah has not come on their own, but Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is with them, and the army is also with them. Now they found out. Now the meeting takes place. They were talking with Abbas radiallahu anhu. They were talking when Abbas radiallahu anhu walked past. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mule, and he heard their voices. Abbas radiallahu anhu told Abu Sufyan that this was Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam army. Abbas radiallahu anhu advised Abu Sufyan that it would be best if the Quraysh sought peace and obeyed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abu Sufyan says that I heard his voice and found Abbas radiallahu anhu and asked him his advice on what we should do. He told him to get on the back of his mule so he could take him to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and seek safety for him. So Abbas radiallahu anhu took Abu Sufyan to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered Abbas radiallahu anhu to take him to his tent and bring him in the morning where he spent the night. Again, family. Abu Sufyan is also family as well. Meanwhile, Hakim ibn Hizam and Budayy ibn Waraqa came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and embraced Islam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke to them for a while, inquiring about the state of affairs in Makkah. After they embraced, both returned to Makkah so they could inform them of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's arrival. In the morning, Abbas radiallahu anh took Abu Sufyan to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam addressed him and said, "O Abu Sufyan, isn't it time that you believe that there is no God but Allah?" Abu Sufyan replied, "My mother and father be sacrificed upon you. You are forbearing, noble, and the one who joins ties of kinship. I swear by Allah that if there was another God apart from Allah, then today he would have been beneficial for us, and I would ask him for help against you." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "O Abu Sufyan, hasn't the time come yet for you that you realize that I am the messenger of Allah?" Abu Sufyan replied that he still had some hesitance in whether he was a messenger or not. Now Abu Sufyan also embraces Islam. Abbas radiallahu anhu made Abu Sufyan realize the truth, and he finally embraced Islam. After he embraced, Abbas radiallahu anhu addressed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said that Abu Sufyan is from the leaders of Makkah. Grant him something that would be a means of honor and respect for him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Make a proclamation, make an announcement that whichever person enters the house of Abu Sufyan will be safe." Abu Sufyan said, "My house is not that, it's not that big. No chance. Everyone cannot fit in my house." Yeah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Okay, that's fine. Okay, then whichever person enters the Masjid al-Haram, the boundary of the Haram, they'll also be safe." Again, the same thing was said by him again. That again, the Haram is not big enough. The Haram is not big enough for everyone to fit inside there as well. Then the final thing they said, "Okay, that's fine." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whichever person closes his door, they will also be safe. Abu Sufyan approved of this. This is enough. Everyone can, now the people of Makkah can stay. Whoever they won't be able to battle you. Yeah, they won't be able to battle you. Now they can stay safe. When the time came for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to leave Maruz Zahran, he told Abbas radiallahu anh to take Abu Sufyan and stand on a hill so you can see the Muslim army in all its glory. You can imagine you standing on the mountain and see the army passing by one after another. Now look at the Muslims. As Abu Sufyan saw the army go by, he said to Abbas radiallahu anh that your nephew's kingdom has become very big. Abbas radiallahu anh said, "This isn't kingship, but prophethood." Yeah, this is about Allah. This is prophethood. This is the army of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's nothing to do with kingship. As the clans would go by, Abu Sufyan would ask who they were. First, Khalid ibn Walid passed by, he leading 900 to 1,000. After these, other parts of huge army passed by. The flag for the Muhajirun was in the hands of Zubair, and the flag for the Ansar was in the hands of Sa'ad ibn Ubadah radiallahu anhum. When Sa'ad bin Ubadah radiallahu anhu passed by Abu Sufyan and saw him, he became excited and said, "Today is the day of fighting, and fighting in the Kaaba has become permissible." Abu Sufyan, when you heard, because generally the fight in the Kaaba, you're not allowed to. But when he went, so when he heard this, when upon hearing that, Abu Sufyan got frightened and asked, who these people are? Abbas radiallahu anhu said, "These are the Muhajirun and the Ansar." So now, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by Abu Sufyan asked him if he had given the command to start to fight his own people. He told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam what Sa'ad said to him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "O Abu Sufyan, Today, the day of mercy, Allah Ta'ala will give respect to the Quraysh. Abu Sufyan hurried back to Makkah and called with a loud voice that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is coming with a large army. My advice is that no one has the strength to challenge him. Accept Islam and you will be safe. Now, the sanctuary. Point number one, whoever enters in the haram will be safe. Whoever enters in the house of Abu Sufyan, Abu Sufyan's house will also be safe. And whoever keeps the door shut, will also be safe. As soon as the people heard him, they started to run. So this is obviously he's told them completely, and they started to run. They started to run, some towards Masjid Haram and some towards their own houses. This part of Makkah Makkah is 3 parts. This is first part completed for today, first part. Inshallah, next week, second part, week after the third part. So just for today so far, we've gone through so far, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had left the place of his birth, Makkah, migrated to Medina, which I mentioned in the beginning. In the 7th year, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah had been agreed between Muslims and the Quraysh. There had been no fight for 10 years. The other tribes had been given the option to join the treaty on whichever side they wished. The Banu Bakr joined on the side of Quraysh and the Banu Khuza'a joined on the side of the Muslims. These 2 tribes had long been enemies and a long history of conflict with each other. It so happened that the Banu Bakr attacked the Banu Khuza'a with the aid of the Quraysh. The Quraysh had blatantly gone against the treaty. The Banu Khuza'a tribe arrived in Medina and sought assistance from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who in turn gave the Quraysh some option to settle the matter. The Quraysh turned them down, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the command to the companions to covertly prepare to go to Makkah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam marched to Makkah with 10,000 soldiers. The Quraysh had been given the terms of safety to stay in Masjid Haram, to stay at Abu Sufyan's house, or to stay in their own houses. Inshallah, this concludes today's session, and hopefully we'll carry on next week, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala give me the ability. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Again, the rest of the series, if you want to catch next week, will be on YouTube.